What shoddy production values?
At least we'll edit this out.
Maybe.
Hello and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, I don't know, something happened to you at work. I guess.
I don't know. You want to start with that? I don't want to start with that.
You don't want to start with that?
I want to talk about the music thing.
Oh, okay. Hey, yeah.
What do you call it? What's it called? Vaporwave?
Vaporwave. Hey, guess what, listeners? We like vaporwave.
Woo! And I'll tell you, for me personally,
two incredibly Aspergic individuals like vaporwave. What a shocker, folks!
And I will tell you, as an old warrior such as myself, the fossil that I am, I enjoy music from my past.
Yeah,
my heyday.
All the gospel music. Oh, you mean after that? Okay, after that.
No, I mean like late 70s.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Late 70s was when I was in late middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Sure.
There and there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was just I could sit here for the next hour and name group after group after group after group.
Yeah, you can't do that shit no more now, can y'all?
Not really.
No.
Not really. But
that's what
the thing
sucks.
And I love the music from that genre. Walked right into the legitimate heavy metal.
Good.
Hard rock of the early 80s, before it got all Spinal Tappy.
And then Guns N' Roses had to come in and break that shit up. Do you know how fucked up you have to be? Do you know how fucked up you have to be for something like Guns N' Roses or what the hell is it? Just basically a band that is so anti whatever the fuck you're doing that they have to break through the glass ceiling, and upon breaking the glass ceiling, they immediately implode.
Well, I think drugs had a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah,
it's just like the Sex Pistols.
Yes, it's just like the Sex Pistols.
Just like the Sex Pistols, they were all jacked up on some kind of substance. And they're like, motherfucker.
Yeah, but they did jar England out of that musical complacency.
Oh, yes, they did.
Yeah, they didn't survive all that long, but you know what? Sometimes things that jar things out of being homogenized, they don't have to live forever.
They don't have a very long
In fact, I would rather they don't.
Well, instead of, it's better to burn out than fade away.
Correct.
I don't necessarily believe that personally.
Personally, no. But here's the thing. You and I are, But you and I aren't on some kind of careening path to nowhere, basically. We're not really on... We're kind of more in tune with the whole, I don't know where we're going, but we're getting there awful fast.
Yeah.
We're more in tune with that, rather than, I'm gonna fucking explode!
Yeah, my death wish is on a stone tablet. It's not on an egg timer.
Yeah, it's called a eulogy.
And those
or whatever Maynard said.
Those folks, that live fast, die young, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up with that. They make amazing
music.
Yes,
and maybe it's that. That's why. Well, there's good music being made today.
Yeah, but you have to look for it. In my opinion, you have to look for it.
I guess current.
Everything's just so squeaky clean.
Recording artists right now.
Yeah.
When's the last time any of them went into rehab?
Exactly.
My God, in my day.
You know what? You know who you do hear go into rehab? The old rock stars still alive.
Oh yeah, I just read that.
Yes, Steven Tyler went back to rehab.
Okay, Harry Styles hasn't been to rehab yet.
No.
Adele.
No, actually, you know what? You know what?
She did.
No. Here's the thing. You know you know what's the big deal with the current recording artists and rock stars, quote unquote rock stars?
What's that?
Here's the thing. There are now 2 drugs that they are basically allowed to do because, let's be fair, they got a fucking death grip on the lives of all these people to not act out of line.
Is one of those Adderall?
Well, part of it is Adderall, but definitely is this, that you got 2 drugs allowed as a recording artist nowadays. It's either, weed,
yeah,
or pharmaceutical pills,
yeah.
like Oxycontin. Because here's the thing, you don't hear these people, you hear them like, you know, they make songs about smoking weed every day. That's now common occurrence,
yeah,
so that's
it's gonna be cliche.
Yeah, it's cliche now.
Yeah, it's cliche now.
Yeah, it's cliche now. Yeah. You know, didn't used to be. But, you know what, LA just ruined weed, so anything goes.
Anything goes.
Which I'm still upset by that, but we'll...
Well, I mean, look at it. I mean, at one time, you know, people, you know, it was like, ooh, Snoop Dogg, he smokes a lot of weed.
No shit.
Now it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Weed? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Any counter, any, you know, ooh, this be dangerous.
Yeah, the only reason that it's still quote-unquote counterculture is because there's still places where it's illegal to engage in any sort of it, you see. That's about it.
True.
And everywhere else where, yeah, that's literally
there's
it.
There's no common, woo, we're being rebellious and fire up a blunt. And it's like, not really.
Yeah, no, not really. Not
really.
Anymore.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. It's only like that in the places where it's not legal.
I mean, I remember one time being backstage at the Forum. Was it the Forum? Anyway, we're in San Francisco. We're backstage at the Metallica concert when they first did
Fillmore.
Fillmore.
Yeah.
Okay, backstage at the Fillmore. So I forget who came on before Metallica. But when Metallica came on, there was like a guy there. He was like a big, fat, kind of chubby, 40-something record producer looking kind of guy with people around him, you know. Yeah. And it was like Metallica started playing, and you saw him reach into his pocket. I was standing behind him when I saw him do this, and it was funny to me. Right? He pulls out this joint. He just puts it in front of the table, and there's like all these people standing around. And he, you know, this is like 2004. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And he stuck that joint. He got it past security. Ooh, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a tough guy, badass," you know. And he's completely, you know, he's got some. Yeah. He's got the standard haircut, completely.
Yeah, he's a record producer.
He's like a record producer.
Yeah, you're a record producer.
Like, oh my god, he got a joint past security.
Of course you did.
I'm not going to talk about what I got past security, but anyway.
Good.
But he was like...
it's like, you're a record producer. No one's going to search you.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how does the emphasis come? Because you should have seen him whip it out. Like he pulled a gun out in the middle of a crowd. He was like, I got a joint, you know. And it's like, okay.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Right.
Jesus.
You're cool.
Christ.
But that was, you know, 2000.
It's unnecessary.
It was. It's like 18 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Of course no one's going to search the obviously wealthy-looking person.
No, they searched you.
Sure, but not with a fine-tooth comb, I don't believe.
I had a big girl pat me down.
Uh-huh. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to hear this story. No. I don't want to hear this story.
All right.
If we get a Patreon...
Okay, Alice. My name's Alice. I got my own security business.
Jesus. I think I met someone in this, not in this area, but definitely in this state who's like that.
Yeah, but
anyway.
You know, weed is not really. I mean,
it's now accepted.
It's so strange for me.
How?
It's like I have this reoccurring image in my mind.
Yeah.
When there's this cliche image from the late 70s. So a lot of people don't understand there was a lot of geopolitical turmoil in the world.
Sure, of course.
The Montreal Olympics, where two factions that have been duking it out for a couple thousand years.
Oh, yeah. Then they decided, hey, Olympics.
Yeah, so they decided to take out an Olympic team for the side that they. I mean, look it up, people.
Oh yeah, this happened.
Yeah, it's happened.
This happened.
Yeah, and but anyway, there was this stereotypical image of, and there was a lot of airplanes getting hijacked.
Yes.
So somehow.
You don't really see that too often nowadays.
I'm not talking about people getting a gun past security. No. I'm talking about people getting a bomb or dynamite.
Yeah.
There's this image of somebody having this, opening up a jacket, and there's all these like sticks of dynamite that are strapped to their body.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this image in my mind where somebody, I want to run into a room full of what's the current generation called? It's not millennials. What is it?
Gen Z.
Is it Gen Z?
Gen Z.
Like have an unlit cigarette in my mouth.
Sure.
And then get near them and have a lighter that doesn't have any fluid in it.
Yeah.
And keep trying to light it. God, this fucking thing will. And watch I really want to do this. I want to watch the look on people's faces.
Yeah.
While I'm trying to light a cigarette near them.
Mm-hmm.
In a room, in a building.
Yes.
Around a bunch of Gen Zers, right?
Yeah.
I think they would get really anxious.
Sure.
Like I had just peed in the floor or pulled out a weapon. And then open my coat and have all these cartons of cigarettes, strapped to my body going, God damn it, I'll do it, I swear.
All right, Eric Andre. Jesus, that sounds like some dumb shit he would do. That does sound like some dumb shit he would do.
People would freak out.
I had
climate.
I actually had a similar image in my head when I was like, for some reason, 11 or 12 years old. We were out living in the West.
Yeah.
And I had the idea of, like, when I was like, ooh, if I got older, I'd dress as a stereotypical, Native American.
From a movie.
From a movie.
Like, yeah, sure.
No, not that movie. Just as stereotypical as possible.
Right.
Because they don't know what the fuck we look like.
No, they don't.
Honestly.
No.
Like, for years in the spaghetti westerns, the Indians being played in those movies were actually Italian, for the most part.
Some of them were.
Some of them were. A good many of them were. But
was it Iron Eyes Cody?
Something like, I think so.
The crying Indian from the environmental pollution. Yeah, he was like Italian.
Yeah, basically.
But the Indian, his name, the Indian from like the Outlaw Josie Wales.
I don't know that one.
And Little Big Man.
Don't know that one.
He was legit Native American, but yes.
But you understand what I mean. Like to people who don't know what they're looking for, no, they look the same. What's different? That whole shtick. Right. And I had the idea of dressing as stereotypical as possible and attempting to like smoke actual tobacco in the middle of San Fran and dare any white person to tell me not to.
Hey.
I was 11!
You didn't even...
What the fuck? I barely understood the ramifications of what I was thinking. What happened?
That's really interesting. And then you find out later that you're actually part of that lineage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine. He's a Lumbee Indian. He's a big old dude, Big Rick.
I like him. I hadn't seen him in a while, a long while.
I haven't seen him in a while, I know. I'm not very social, and I'll run into him again.
Oh, yeah, you will.
But he's like 6'10".
He has to eat his lunch on the fucking refrigerator. I saw him do it.
Like you would lean on a countertop in your kitchen.
Yeah.
He leans on a refrigerator.
The top of
the refrigerator while eating his lunch.
Yeah, there was like 1/4 of the corner on top of the fridge clear just for him.
Yeah.
The rest of it had like soda cans, boxes of cereal, because it was the break room, and then like the left square on top of the fridge, it was his dining table.
He has what it's called a medicine pouch, and because he is a card carrying member of a Native American tribe, he says whatever is in that medicine pouch, he is by law allowed to consume at his discretion.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I am not. I mean, whatever's in there. Now, he never said the connotation.
Sure,
the suggestion
yes.
was substances that are not completely legal in the white man's world.
Yeah.
Peyote or weed. Or,
definitely. I can definitely see the peyote getting by in that, yeah.
Well, peyote, I mean, that's a Southwestern thing.
Still.
But...
I know that wasn't the intention.
No.
But let's be fair.
But, he was young, and I'm a young guy, too. We were like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Like, hey, it would be a good idea. I get it.
As long as it was something that was completely organic.
Yes. That's my biggest thing.
He couldn't have like a bottle of OxyContin in there.
No, and he probably couldn't just have some tablets
some black tar heroin. No.
Yeah, some LSD for good measure.
Right. Anything that was processed,
he couldn't.
He couldn't have.
So he couldn't. Whoa! Hang on one fucking minute. Hang on a fucking minute.
That's what he said.
No. Hang on. Let me process this.
Okay.
I need to process this. Okay. So hypothetically, he could have a nug.
Oh yeah.
In the pouch. In front of God and everyone else, regardless if it was in a state that allowed you to have nugs.
Regardless.
But he couldn't have 3 ibuprofens in the pouch.
Not if no.
Do you see what I'm trying to get at?
He couldn't have anything. Well, it's like if he was stopped in a license check or police had to do you have anything on you?
Yeah.
Whatever was in that medicine pouch was not.
They couldn't search it.
He couldn't. Maybe they could.
Sure.
Obviously, if they had jumped on him and tied him up.
No,
But it wouldn't
be upholdable in a court of law.
It wouldn't be admissible in court of law
because you have that card that say, "Hey, I'm this." What's in the pouch?
What is in the pouch is sacred.
Is irrelevant.
It's my religion.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It had something to do with
the religion.
With the religion.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever was in the medicine pouch was considered sacred and a part of. It's like Rastafarians. There was this thing years ago. You don't hear about it much anymore. About smoking marijuana was a part of their religion. Yes. So even though they existed in a state or a city that had that made, this was, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Sure.
That using the use of cannabis was illegal. Mm-hmm. They could because they claimed a religious exemption. So even if you busted them with it,
it wouldn't be admissible because it's part of their religion.
Because it was part of their religion. In other words, you couldn't know this guy's got an ounce of weed. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna put him in jail.
Yeah,
but you couldn't.
Yeah, because he's Rastafarian.
It was this, and you had to be you had to have all your forms.
And oftentimes
you couldn't be just some white kid from Denver, Colorado, going, "Hey man, I'm a Rastafarian." No, you got to be a card carrying proof of documentation.
Yeah, I've heard a similar story with out in the Southwest and peyote too.
Yeah. It's like, what's that?
Like 2 dudes got fired from their job because they participated in some sort of peyote ceremony, and they took them to court because it was part of their religion, and they got their card carrying what status.
It's like that. What's that drink that they mix up that sends people on trips?
Ayahuasca?
Yeah.
No, it's not ashwagandha. Ayahuasca. Yeah, it is.
Ashkahuasca, something like that.
It's
because you're involved in some type of. If you're considered, you can make yourself.
It's basically
you can make yourself a quote unquote. I'm seeing the air quotes, people. Shaman. You can
get some au natural DMT.
Basically,
that's what ayahuasca is.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but layman's terms, it's DMT.
For some reason, you would have to use it in the performance of some kind of ritual.
I wouldn't.
It's not like you could be sitting at home in your living room.
No.
Trip
No.
Watching,
No.
The Odd Couple.
No. Look. From the written accounts I have encountered, because look, for the longest time, I listened to Joe Rogan talk about DMT, and then one day I went, what the fuck is DMT? Because he talks about it, but he doesn't really quite explain it in a way that makes sense, or at least made sense to me. It was always like, oh, this drug makes you see aliens and some shit, and I was like, okay?
Sure.
It's like, okay, bro, but maybe I wasn't paying attention long enough, whatever. I can only handle so much Joe Rogan in one sitting. True. Personally.
I like the guy.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't always follow the crowd.
Yes.
Which we need more of, and hopefully we'll see more in the future.
Be more articulate, people.
Just something.
Just something. Okay.
You know?
I just want to do it because I think it's a cheat.
No. Be you. Be you, but be able to express it in a way.
Jesus.
That people will go, huh.
Fair enough.
That's interesting.
So basically, I found a couple books talking about it in relation to the ayahuasca, and from what like actual science research books.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's called. I think one book I managed to get my hands on.
Wait a minute. Did it use technical jargon?
Very technical jargon.
Well, you always did well in chemistry.
I did.
Yeah,
now, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, God.
You did understand chemistry.
It's because of the teacher.
Oh, well, that's fair.
No, here's what she did. She gave us...
I had a shitty chemistry teacher.
Oh, then you had a shitty chemistry. No, the chemistry teacher that I got, and I love her to death... she did kind of spook the matriarch a couple years ago, and she still remembers it. So I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, but no, the main reason I managed to pass chemistry was how she taught it. She taught it as teaching us the alchemical table, or the chemistry
periodic table.
Yes,
okay.
Not alchemical. Fuck. Anyway, I'm reading a lot of books, so she would give us practical reasons for each of the elements, or give us a way to remember them.
All right.
And she did this by, apparently teaching us how to make shit explode. But you know what? It fucking worked. This is how I know if you put straight potassium in H2O, it'll explode. Let's see. I think, I can't remember which it was, but, it was one of the elements plus fertilizer also explodes.
Oh my God. Don't talk about that. We get the FBI.
No. Two different ways to make napalm, because we're 16 years old. Who the fuck is gonna make napalm at 16?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm learning so much today. Oh my God, she must have been part of the internet generation that when she must have been part of the internet that spontaneously got a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook back before the internet had search engines. Like, you just found shit randomly. Because she gave me the impression that she's read it because of how many things she told us could explode.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But you know what? I'm not even mad, because she got us to remember. Right. She engaged my imagination to remember a lot of stuff.
And, she was not,
high school.
She was not proposing that you hijack anybody or try to overthrow the government or anything. Just
she calmly. This
plus this equals boom.
Yeah.
And I have been there.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, the ammonium triiodide.
Yeah, she told us about that too. And I went, oh shit. Yeah. Oh God. It's actually a wonder. She never. It is actually a wonder she never got arrested. Because at some point you would think, why does little Timmy know that potassium explodes in water?
And why is he missing 2 fingers?
Exactly. But you know what? No one asked questions, so you know what? She's probably doing a lot better.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. So no, there was a book. I think it's the full title that you can find on that website that you and I use to get books.
Yeah.
I think it's called DMT: The Spirit Molecule. It was written a couple years ago, so obviously some of the numbers and jargon are a little bit more outdated because that's just how science works, but the theory is relatively the same, and there were some written accounts of what was taking place, and I can assure you listeners that from those written accounts...
Was it like third-party written accounts or accounts written by someone who had actually taken the substance?
It was direct. It was basically the point of view of like one dude, like the main scientist, the author, and he's writing down the accounts of what he has witnessed and what people have said.
From other people taking it?
Yes. Okay. Now, if there is a section further into the book, I just got this book, further in the book where it is a first-person account of it, I have not read that part yet, if it is in that book.
Right.
But no, it's not something you can just casually do at your house.
No.
It's not like a six-pack where you just get a six-pack, go home, sit, like flip the game on, sit in your couch recliner, just plow through it. No. You have to
be in a special situation.
Yeah, there's a reason why...
Padded room.
Yeah, there's a reason why you hear a lot of old religion worshipping, like, mushrooms and shit. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, you don't just because here's the thing, think about it.
Right.
In the context of history...
Right.
What is in terms of the context of history, what does alcohol invoke in your mind as historical relevance?
Well, when I think about the possible origin of it, I think of it as some type of grain that had been stored a certain way, that and how the alcohol molecule occurred naturally, and people in that survival mode are not going to throw away anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize that there was a lot of consumption of alcohol because water, the average potable water, usable water, drinkable water was not. It was like the first soda pop.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a created drink from the elements around you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So it's really from that perspective that I've always been curious about, you know, the original origin. It was, you know, nobody went, oh, hey, I'm going to do this. Somebody went, you know, hey, you know what? You know, these grapes I had stored in this jar for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I drank some of it. And
it was awesome.
And it was awesome. I had a bitchin' day.
And that's the other half of it.
You know, that's pre-flood.
Yeah, it's basically a party thing.
Yeah.
It eventually turned into that.
Right.
So that's historical relevance of alcohol is like,
you know my first understanding of it was the story of Noah after the flood planted a vineyard.
I've actually read that story lately, and I'm very confused by it. But quick.
I won't get into the specifics of it.
Oh, okay.
Basically, no. I mean, I don't mind addressing some of it, but basically it was, you know, it's like after a long day of cutting grass, you go inside and have a cold beer.
Yeah.
Okay, after this monumental task this individual was involved in.
He decided to get a drink.
He decided to get a drink. That's it.
He had a drink.
Okay, what happened after that, I'm not at liberty to explore.
Okay.
At this time.
That was going to be my next question.
Ooh, that's a big
because I don't even know where to start. We don't have to get into it now, but I'd like
that's
some
what I think.
I
just think, you know, hey, what, you know, he was just in his later years, and he
survived.
He survived his great task, and he decided to have a cold one after work.
Hey, that's cool.
And he just had one too many.
Yeah, I get it. But I meant that in relation to, you know, what do you think of when you think of the historical relevance of, like, mushrooms or something like that?
You know, there's a very interesting theory out there.
How so?
There literally are people that believe that human beings transition from the animal to a sentient being after consuming a psilocybin
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
Is that how the word's pronounced?
I don't know how to say it. You probably are saying it better than I am.
The
Syllabin.
The mushroom.
Yes. Yes. I call it syllabin.
It's the.
I just call it syllabin.
It's weird how it runs. I mean, it even. I swear to God, it even runs into the whole image of Santa Claus. Because it's the red. I swear, I know.
I'm listening to me. I'm listening.
I can't think of the name of it. It's the red mushroom with the white spots.
That is not syllabin.
No, well, it's.
I think what you're thinking of is a more toxic mushroom, like actually poisonous.
No. Well, obviously, if it kills you, you're not going to consume it anymore.
Yeah.
But there is this really interesting theory out there, like the appearance of Santa Claus. You know, Santa Claus is all red, and he's trimmed in white. And this mushroom is a red mushroom. It's a red mushroom cap mushroom with white spots.
I guess that might be one breed of it, because this is the main one I see. Now, it does have that red with white spots on there, but I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah. Let me see. We are.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, I mean, I love to go down these rabbit holes.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. There is a picture. It's apparently some sort of Florida dispensary for mushrooms, and they're called philosopher stones. Yeah.
Okay. There's and it's not just internet. Okay, some of us read before. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that I spent so many hours in libraries.
Yes.
So many hours just reading anything that looked interesting, and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
And when search engines arrived, and I mean, like people would talk about,
I started watching TikTok, and 6 hours later, it was time for me to go to work.
I just got lost in it. I can get lost in it. So I could sit in front of a search engine and go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But I came across, and it's pretty well established. I'm not saying it's legit. I have no idea.
Sure.
But there's a lot of literature out there about these red mushrooms with the white spots.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this theory that people believe that, I'm not, I would imagine that they believe it, because why else would they write so much about it? Is that the transition of us as human beings, Homo sapiens, transition from animal to the sentient being.
Yeah, because of
the psilocybin.
The syllabin.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard that too. And it makes sense, because
I guess.
Look, anything that affects the mind is going to alter it in some way.
Right.
You see?
Sure. So,
but that's also why, like, going back to MJ, for some people, people are able to find a religious purpose for MJ and use it to expand their own way of thinking and connect dots where otherwise they may not have seen it.
Especially Cheetos.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the people who get into MJ as basically just a pure escape from their reality.
Oh yeah, and I mean we do that with
anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a substance. People do it with their job.
Mm-hmm.
People do it with their choice of religion or belief system.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I mean, who am I? As long as you're functional.
Sure, of course.
And don't cause harm to an innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I am not really. I mean, there are some behaviors and activities that ultimately will lead to causing a tremendous amount of harm to the rest of people around you. But
if you're an adult and you make those decisions for yourself, that's one thing.
That's one thing.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
But because I am no one to point a finger at another person. But it's you can
basically
you can choose to get lost and entrenched in anything.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you can also just completely forego and ignore the consequences of your own actions until they're right up on your doorstep.
I have unfortunately, to my own shame, been involved in that in numerous things. I don't know. It's a weird.
It happens.
It's a weird state of mind where, especially for somebody like me,
Sure,
who was raised to understand the outcomes of activity.
Sure, but you do it anyway. Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I'm always very hesitant to try to get a swell head.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that.
'Cause I'm always like, oh, I don't want to fuck up that badly in my life, you see.
Well, the thing about it is you just, if you become, what you have to watch out for is the pride involved with it.
Yes.
Because when you get to the point where you think it's not going to take you down, that is when it takes you down.
That's fair.
Once you reach that level of that interaction.
That's a pretty good measuring stick, I won't lie. So.
Pride goeth before a fall.
Indeed.
It's not just a
saying.
biblical maxim.
It's not just something.
It's a logistical
probability.
Probability.
Indeed.
And an absolute.
Indeed. No, I mentioned that just because,
Let it out.
I know.
Roll.
Yeah, I know. I just mentioned that because I don't want to give too many details, but a good,
no worries.
One of my, friends who's, still kind of involved in the whole poly thing, him and,
yeah, how's that going?
Not well. Not at all.
You guys enjoying exchanging fluids now, huh?
Yeah, and honestly, easy. Yeah, I'm just over here going, I don't know. I just laughed. I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
During the last year, the big breakup basically got
the soap opera you didn't sign up for.
Soap opera I didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
He jumped out of the relationship to get into like a poly one.
Yeah.
And my friend and his wife at the time were talking about, that's not a real example of it. That's not a good, it's not what you're supposed to do. And basically him and Han that, that's a bad example of it. And, kind of subtextually implying that they were in a good spot.
That's the only outcome.
Yeah, I know. And now they're at the outcome. You see what I mean?
Right. There is a destination. You can say, well, you might end up here, and you might end up there, and you might end up.
But you're not going over there.
But you're not going over. Oh yes, you are.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you are. Because you will eventually end up at this gate.
Yeah.
You will.
And now they're at the gate.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like.
Well, see, the problem is they think they've reached the gate, and they look back and go, we made a wrong choice somewhere along the journey. No, you made a wrong choice to engage in that journey. Indeed. Because this is where it leads.
This is the only way.
I'm not judging people.
No. It doesn't affect, look, these people are adults.
You poke me in the chest, I'm going to pop you in the snout. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It just made me go like, weren't you talking about last year? During my whole shakeup.
I'm not trying to be glib about it. My heart goes out to people because obviously they're hurt and confused, and they're confused because they don't want to accept the reality of the situation.
That's the other half of it, is they're more than likely no one will learn from this.
Well, someone will.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, dude, come on.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the whole classical versus romantic thinking.
I get it. And that's also why I'm choosing not to spend an awful lot of time conversing or otherwise with this friend, because first of all, I don't want to get involved.
Right.
And second, I don't want to be any source of I don't want my energy being powered in this machine.
Right, and they will try to pull that your energy from you. Yes. And they may not. Some people maliciously try to pull energy.
Yes.
They're these energy vampires, for lack of a better expression.
Yes.
And some people don't mean it maliciously, but they will try.
They'll still do it nonetheless.
They'll still do it nonetheless.
Even subconsciously.
Subconsciously, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what's made me back way the fuck up over the past few years, is just because it's like why I don't spend time with him and his wife and the rest of them, is because I just looked up one day. Weirdly enough, the last day we all had a game night together, like the last time, with a couple of exceptions, like just them getting together. But everyone all together, I just looked up the last game night session we had sometime last year, and I went, oh my god. Every single one of you is miserable.
Absolutely miserable.
And I had made up my mind that I did not want to go back because I realized that.
Right.
And misery loves company, and I had better things to do.
And that's unfortunate.
Yes.
That's unfortunate. You do have to
cut tie, even though you know these are good people.
Right.
Their heart's in the right place. You know, they're not like vicious thieves or anything.
No.
But you still have to leave them behind.
Yeah,
otherwise it would poison you.
For lack of a better expression, and I hate this expression, it's called cut them loose.
Yes.
And I do. But I've had to do that. And I'm sure there are people that have had to do it with me in my my dark days.
Sure.
They had to cut me loose. And I understand that. I don't hold any grudges.
No. It's not personal.
No, it's not personal. It's survival.
Yeah.
And you realize that for you to get where you want to be, you want to get to, that weight
has to be let go.
It has to be let go. Let go of the stone.
Yes.
That's what's hurting a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are,
I know.
You know, you're drowning. Let go of the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. I had an individual who I loved like a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And being an only child, I was very lonely in my youth, and I wanted that sibling, especially a brother, and cutting him loose because of drugs, and how the drugs changed him into somebody that I didn't know anymore.
Yeah,
broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. And I can talk about it now without getting overly emotional. But I had to cut him loose. I had to cut him loose. And years later, he came back into my life. And I'm like, hey, man, I love you, but I just can't. I can't re-engage. What we once had, I'm not saying it's gone. And I treasure the memory of our friendship.
Sure, yeah.
But I can't. I
get it.
It cut me so deep. And it wasn't a matter of forgiveness.
No.
It's not a matter of forgiveness.
Sure.
Okay.
It's the fact that you had to do it.
It's kind of like that post-traumatic stress disorder discussion we had. It was like, I just can't do it, man. Just the possibility that I loved you so much.
Yeah.
And this situation took place. I don't hold it against you. I don't say your name in a negative term. I don't tell people, hey, that guy did this and I hate him. No,
yeah.
No, it's nothing like that. You're just out of my life now, and that's the way it has to be.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, my heart goes out to people. And people are just trying to, I've said it, and it took me to get older to understand, we're all human. We're all just trying to make it through this life one day at a time.
Of course.
To live in this human temporal existence.
Mm-hmm.
And, but there are, if people want to think ill of me because I can't be somebody's friend anymore because of an experience like that, then that's just going to have to be the way it is. And I'll carry that mark. I don't care.
I know.
But I know what I have to do.
Sure.
And
I get it.
To proceed along the path that I'm on.
I got you.
And you and Bro and the matriarch have given me strength and focus and purpose.
Good.
And I'm blessed.
Good.
I'm happy about that.
Good.
I really am.
Feeling better?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, that's why we're here.
I know that's why we're here.
Bel-E Scratch therapy. Woo!
Exactly.
Everybody owes me $2.
Everybody.
Everybody owe me $2.
Everyone. Oh my God.
You know, we're gonna have to talk about that movie.
Yes.
I love that movie.
I have yet to see the director's cut. Where is it?
You haven't seen the director's?
No, I've not. I found it on like the Netflix, but it wasn't the director's cut.
It's called Leon.
Just Leon?
Leon.
Okay.
Is the director's cut.
Because on Netflix,
The Professional is the movie cut.
Yeah, because the thing I found on Netflix is called Leon the Professional.
And
I don't know I don't know.
And here's the other thing.
I don't know.
When you look at
yeah,
different versions of it,
yes,
the longer version is the director's cut.
Well, that's common.
Yeah, that's common. What I'm saying, if you go, is this it or is that it? If this one's longer than, it's a good 20, 30 minutes that was cut out.
Yeah, that's the director's cut.
That's the director's cut.
Sure.
So that's an easy way.
Or it's the unrated cut for. Yeah, I know exactly.
It's very interesting. Very well done.
I guess. I
love Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I love Gary Oldman too. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I guess if a movie does well, it's called a director's cut. But if the movie is like a B movie or some schlock, it's called the unrated cut.
That's possible.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, because they want to give it some kind of edge.
Yeah, to kind of draw it in because it's not like it was made by Martin Scorsese or fucking who the hell made E.T.? No, not Steven Spielberg. Landis. Or John Landis. Or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Myrrh. God. Everybody wants to work out on Saturday now, and it pisses me off.
Well, you know.
I had the one person who wanted to work out on Saturday. The first ever client. She got priority, obviously, so of course we're going to keep her time slot. Then I had somebody else come in for like 9 a.m. It's like, okay, this is kind of pushing it. And I got somebody else at 11.
Well, I mean,
it's oh my God.
Well, see, here's the thing. You have weekday options.
Yes, I do.
Why it's like me. I work 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, and it's like, hey, I need to go. As a matter of fact, I got pulled over by a cop yesterday morning because the tag on my vehicle is expired.
Oh, yeah.
And I need to go to the highway department.
Sure.
Okay. And he told me he'll tear up the fine if I go to the highway department. And I was like, okay. The highway department closes at 5. I get off around 4:15. So I'm actually going to have to take the effing day off and go to the Department of Motor Vehicles, which is like the 7th level of hell.
Yes. So you got to take PTO on top of this. So I take PTO
to go sit in a room full of people that smell worse than my left sock. And listen to people who are employed by the government and couldn't get fired if they shot somebody.
Yeah, that's why it's called postal, not DMV'd.
So I'm not looking forward to that.
So there you go.
I know I got the big beer flu thing. You know, I
it done fucked everything up.
Yeah, I thought I had taken care of it, but then I just kind of put it on the back burner and completely forgot about it.
Well, there are worse things to have forgotten because of the beer flu.
True. That's true.
Although, here's the thing. You know what? Maybe in hindsight, the beer flu is going to be the catalyst for the great reset happening across the world. Because, all right, look, I don't want to talk about it too deeply.
Okay, sure.
But I would like to at least make a digital footprint of it.
Obviously.
Oh,
lovely. I love that.
Okay. A record, if you will.
So people years from now will listen to this and go,
what the hell happened? Oh.
They'll go, witch! Burn the witch! You're like, I predicted it!
What the hell are you talking about? People do that now.
Well, so what?
Yeah, I know, so what? I already explained this.
Yes.
So basically, here's the thing. And I'm going to tell you the only reason I care.
Yeah.
Or not care, but gave it, what's that line from Django? At first you had my interest, now you have my attention. I had a little moment like that very recently. The neighbor south of Russia, the big one.
With the red flag?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
They going through some really bad patch right now.
Oh, and if you hadn't showed me and the North American media is
not covering it at all.
It's completely glossing over it.
Exactly.
Which is really strange.
That is very strange. All right, I'm going to give a loose retelling of what is happening. So a big old summary. Okay. I'm not going to explain all the details, but basically, due to a combination of bank fraud and real estate Ponzi schemes, and somebody from one of the major banks of this great nation stealing the equivalent of...
Great as in large.
Great as in large.
They do not support their objectives.
Yeah, they're great as in large. Great
as in large,
yeah,
yes.
One of the great three powers on this planet in that context.
Absolutely.
One of the big wigs at one of their primary main branch banks stole the modern day equivalent of 4.5 billion of our US dollars in their currency and fled the country.
It's even been estimated as high as 6.5.
Yeah. So somewhere in that neighborhood. So a combination of these three issues, along with several others that I don't have time to get into, has snowballed into the general population of this nation to not having access to money, therefore not having access to paying bills, buying food, and people who have lost all their savings are now demanding and petitioning the government to basically have them wipe away all the mortgages because they literally have no money to pay it because it's either gone or... there's not enough to go around.
And based on the reported... How can I put this?
And the reason why it got my attention, I take a swig of water.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Stuff like this happening in this nation, I don't want to say it's common, but you hear stuff like this all the time. Every now and again something pops up. Oh, this thing happened in this province of this nation. Oh, every now and again.
Sure.
But what got my attention, aside from the complete lack of coverage in our place in the world, is the fact that these citizens of this nation are protesting, which is something they do not do.
Not unless things are really, really, really bad.
Exactly. Like holding up signs, big signs, protesting, laying in the street in front of traffic. No.
They have a significant history of being cut down in the street.
Exactly.
Like grass. With the government of this large country.
So that's how I knew it was bad. The fact that they had to get to the point of that. The possibility of once again being cut down like blades of grass.
I guess if you're gonna get taken down, you might as well go down swinging.
Indeed.
I guess. I don't know.
So essentially, this is not good. Like even if they somehow survive, that's a lot of damage.
Well, their approach is different.
Sure.
In North America. North America will and let me hip everybody to something. The collapse of the market in 2008, the collapse of the market in early 2020, and they talk about trillions of dollars disappeared. It did not disappear.
It just got moved.
It got moved into somebody else's bank account.
Yeah.
They lost all this market capitalization.
No, they didn't.
Somebody shorted it, and somebody pulled it out, and put it in their account somewhere.
Because that's how shorting works.
Because that's how it works. Okay, so money doesn't disappear.
No.
Money is like energy.
Yes.
Energy doesn't end. It just transitions into something else.
Yes.
A different form of energy, a different place of energy. Money is like that as well. It doesn't disappear.
And plus, somebody, the almighty accountant, whomever whatever it is.
I got an idea who it is, but anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So, if somebody or something is keeping track of all these supposed lost sums of money.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. No,
well,
it didn't disappear.
What they're trying to say is, and I watched the videos you sent me, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Don't scoff at me when I do shit like that.
I never scoff at you. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for it at that moment, and you're like standing over me with your foot tapping, like, come on! And I'm like, later!
I would not if it was not important.
And I appreciate that.
All right.
Anyway. But this person, quote unquote, that skipped the country, quote unquote, air quoting again, people, that stole, quote unquote, stole. They didn't skip anything. They didn't steal anything because when this was all going down, it was legal.
Yeah. Or at least they loopholed it.
Which makes it legal.
Sure. Although their particular powers that be didn't appreciate it, it was it looks like.
And when they take $6 billion worth of their currency out of that country,
out of circulation,
basically.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it's gonna destabilize some shit.
And all this country did was, first of all, they shut all the banks down.
Yes.
And then they put limits on how much
you could withdraw.
How much you could withdraw.
Yeah.
Every day.
No,
They're not really saying that you don't have access to.
They're just limiting how much.
You just can't pull it all out at once.
Yeah. So essentially, they're just trying to buy themselves some time.
Well, what they're doing is something that, unfortunately, the people in North America haven't figured out how to do well, because the people in North America are printing. That's where this inflation has come from, where they have printed so much of North American currency.
Yeah, didn't you say 40% of the money in circulation at this moment was printed in 2012 2020?
Has been printed since March of 2020.
Yeah, you see how fucked up this whole thing is?
Yeah.
You know, this is why if it wasn't for gas, it would be a lot less, but every paycheck, so every 2 weeks I've got $300 for like gas, any expenditures or bills.
Yeah.
So theoretically, counting all the bills, theoretically I can technically subsist on $800 a month, just like by myself.
Right.
You know, that's like gas, meals, anything I gotta buy for the house. Right. $300 every 2 weeks. Now for my birthday, it's a little bit more than that for that whole month, because I'm special. I had such a shitty birthday last year because of all this dumb shit. But I know better now.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let that happen again. So, but a lot of people can't survive on $300 every 2 weeks. No. And that's the other problem that we're facing, is people have lost the ability to do that. Now, if inflation wasn't...
It's killing them.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. If inflation wasn't as high as it was, for me, it would be more closer to like 150 for everything for 2 weeks, which in my opinion is nice.
Yeah.
And awesome.
Yeah. Especially
with the job I've got. So, if I'm still doing it by the time the bubble pops, I will be in a fantastic position.
Right.
But for the rest of the people, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what's happened in the last... I can remember 20 years ago having conversations with your grandma.
Yeah.
About, I don't know how people are... everybody's always got a new house. Everybody's always got new vehicles.
Yeah.
Everybody's going on vacation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I make good money.
Yeah, you do. But we're not doing that.
But I'm not doing that.
No.
And I know I make better money being a nurse. I know I make better money than the average person, the average wage. And I've given 30 years of my life and taken days off the end of my life to make what I make and do what I do. So I don't have any guilt over it whatsoever. I've earned it, and
I get you.
So, and I was like, man, I don't have stuff like that.
No.
Okay, and I don't begrudge other people from having stuff like that. Well, you don't know what they do. Well, no, I don't, but I know they don't make what I make. And how do they continue to live to that standard?
Exactly.
And that is crumbling right now.
It's probably for the best.
I thought it was going. I thought 2008. You know, we came back to the East Coast.
Yeah. No, we bailed out of California.
Because I knew that San Francisco was going to go down the pipe when I saw the way everything unfolded. It just took 20 years.
It just took 20 years for it really to sink in.
To get so big and so messy that they can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah, and that's essentially what happened. It wasn't as instantaneous as we all thought.
No.
It just instead of attempting to clean it up back then when it's like you spill your drink, you go, sorry, pick up a paper towel, and you mop it up.
Right.
But instead, it was like, okay, you spill the drink and you stare at it. And you stare at it. Stare at it. Stare at it.
Yeah.
And by the time your brain clicks into, oh, I should probably wipe that up. It's already solidified into some kind of paste, crumble, some bitch that you gotta mop off the floor. It takes more effort than if you just fixed it right then and there.
If you just dealt with it when it happened.
Yeah. Now, granted, maybe they could not have dealt with it right then and there.
That goes back to something that I've been wondering over the past couple of years.
Sure.
And that is maybe this great reset is, this thing is always going to be, ultimately, for many people, is always going to be kind of framed in a negative connotation.
Sure.
But maybe it's the best thing that needs to happen. People need to reset. They need to stop spending money they don't have. Yes, it is going to cause a lot of problems.
It is going to cause a lot of problems.
It's going to cause a lot of people to not want to be in this world anymore. It's going to cause a lot of people to leave this world probably before their time. It's going to cause a lot of stress. It's going to cause a lot of heartache. But this is how things happen. Okay, when the balloon, you can only pump so much air into a balloon
before it pops.
Yes. And that's just a natural. There is nothing unnatural about that.
It happens all the time.
These economic cycles that come around.
There is no such thing as immortality.
No.
Not as we know it.
Get to affluent, crash and burn. And then everything resets and people start from scratch.
Yeah.
Like I said, all the dark, it took, because I'm a reader, I'm a student of history, the Dark Ages. And the Dark Ages always had this negative connotation, basically. Just meant that people reset. Yeah. It didn't,
instead of relying on Rome. They had to rely on themselves.
They had to go back and rely completely on themselves.
Yeah, even back in like World War II and all that was stuff, like the Victory Gardens. Yeah, exactly. Getting people to grow their own food because there was a shortage of food because you had to send the food to the military.
Because it was, you were in a war.
Weirdly enough, yeah. I think, I think a lot of, now here's the thing, because the internet, I'm not 100% sure how calculated this is. Yeah. I don't know if this is just, now here's the thing, when you hear stuff like Victory Gardens, it definitely sounds like propaganda. Like, for sure.
Okay.
but it was a good idea to do it.
I think it's
because you don't want your populace to starve to death. You see what I mean?
It's like all those books in that case right there.
Oh,
that are on homesteading and growing your own food.
But lately, I don't know if this is just a reaction from the people of this country, or if this was like supplanted a long time ago and it just kind of grew on its own.
Right.
The whole revival of, there's people all over, like Facebook, TikTok, talking about how to grow your own food, and like these little itty bite-sized videos,
right.
Talking about they don't want you to own your land. They don't want you to grow your own food, which technically, yes, but
when you have been consumed, when you are involved in a materialistic consumer economy,
sure,
yeah, they want you to buy stuff.
Yeah, but I think if this whole revival in growing your own food and homesteading is manufactured, if it is manufactured,
right.
And even if it isn't manufactured, that probably means these people are probably better preparing for what's getting ready to happen.
Right.
We might be reaching a point where they're going to put the big brakes on the consumeristic way of life that's been proceeding.
I think we're here.
Yeah.
It's like, I talked about the Halloween candy.
Mm.
When I was a kid, you go trick-or-treating around.
Yeah.
It was common to, along with candy bars and prepackaged stuff, that some people would give out popcorn balls. They would give out like candied apples,
Rice Krispie treats or stuff like that.
Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
They had made themselves as treats.
Yeah.
To the
homemade stuff.
Homemade stuff. And then all of a sudden, as the rise in commercialism,
then all of a sudden it's like,
it was like, there's razor blades and apples.
There's LSD in the apple.
There's LSD in the Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
And that kind of pushed people away from making stuff.
Sure.
And then everybody's like buying.
Oh yeah,
products.
that's definitely.
So I think.
Yeah, did it ever happen? Razor blades and candy. Maybe once.
Not to anybody I came into contact.
Exactly.
with. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't know. I never.
But we don't hear about it anymore.
But
not
you don't
really.
hear about it anymore. No.
And the other half of it is, the drugs and the candy. Who the fuck is giving out hardcore drugs in your candy? Like, why would you do that?
Well. Yeah.
Like what kind of evil-spirited individual takes mushrooms, which every single person I have ever encountered, be it reading it or talking to them, like every single individual I've ever come across that has taken some kind of psychedelic, are a bunch of dopey-headed hippie guys. It's like
they're usually not serial killers.
Yeah, they're usually not serial killers.
When's the last time you saw a serial killer like trip on acid and
exactly
smoke them all?
Do you see what I mean?
I know.
It's like, wait a minute. Why would the people taking psilocybin, mushrooms and LSD and why would these individuals who drugs that are supposed to project your mind into different realities, but they still have a dark enough spirit to poison children. Like, really?
Yeah.
Is that what we're here?
I think the last was probably Charles Manson.
Ugh.
And all that mess, because they were, but that's just being so fucked up. You're so far.
Like, do you mean in terms of
removed from reality?
Do you mean in terms of cult leader or just that
cult leader? Cult.
No,
cult,
no, like
cult.
Heaven's Gate was probably it.
That was, Jim Jones.
Yeah, Jim Jones, Heaven's Gate.
You don't really see those.
No,
When's the last time?
No. I'm going to tell you the last time.
The Japanese one where the people were poisoning castor beans. They were using
that. No, not that one.
Related to a castor bean.
That one I don't
Japanese
know.
Subways. Oh yeah.
That one I'm not sure of, but I vaguely understand what you're talking about. Hang on. I'm not going to play it, but I am going to send it to you. I misspelled it, but whatever.
No worries.
Yes.
What?
Yes!
Why wouldn't it be?
She actually does talk about it. All right, I Googled...
If you did it at home, yes, because there's laws against that.
Yeah, no. I'm going to send you that video. I'm also going to send you this one as well.
Oh, I can't talk about that.
I know you can't talk about this, why I'm going to send it to you.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in the future.
One of my favorite YouTube channels, Ask
We're
a
getting ready to
Mortician.
blow up.
What?
We're getting ready to blow up.
Good.
We hit 100, and I'm building the website and going on a couple other channels. We're gonna
Oh
go
yeah,
on
no
Spotify,
problem. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
you.
T-shirts,
Oh yeah,
coffee mugs.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get you.
Woo!
Might as well.
Might as well.
But Ask a Mortician, one of my favorite YouTube channels. The video I'm referring to is it legal to mummify your cult leader?
Hell yeah.
No, actually, the answer is technically no.
What?
Yes. That's why I'm going to send you the video.
Oh, man, I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah. There's also that one, the Donner Party
This house
one.
will be a shrine, and punks and kids and Rastas will come and say, "What happened to the people's poet?"
Don't bring Rick into this.
Oh, rest in peace, Rick Mayhall.
Oh my God, I wanted to meet him so bad.
I know. Good guy. Talented, creative. I don't know what he was as a person, but anyway.
I hope he was at least a good person.
Oh,
Him and the guy that played Vivian, Adrian,
No.
I think his name is Adrian, they were
Edmonton.
best friends up until he died, or up until Rick died.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, there
They
has to
were
be...
such a creative
Oh,
team.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that told me something. They were just
Yeah.
best friends forever. Ugh. So, no, it made me sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read
I'll read it.
The Alchemist.
I already started.
No, I'm telling that to you, but I'm also telling that to
Oh.
them.
The listener.
Yeah, read The Alchemist.
Our legions of fans.
Yes.
You'll be able to get that book on our. We'll put like a monetized link.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I know is I'm definitely reading more of Pablo's writings. Read it.
Yeah.
Read The Alchemist. And buy fine chocolates because you deserve it.
Yes. Buy good chocolate.
Yes,
I
know I
technically
did.
all chocolate is good, but some is gooder than others.
Yes. Or whatever George Orwell said.
Yeah. Most good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we didn't end up talking about anything that we had planned.
No, well,
That's
I mean...
effing awesome because we have...
What?
Because this means there's just more in the tank.
Good. I admit... Yeah, I know. So you had the thing that happened at your work. I had the thing about... I just had a really awesome week. So,
Let's talk about that then.
The awesome week?
I don't want to talk about the thing that happened to me at work because there's some legal...
You want to make sure that the...
I want to make sure the smoke dies down.
Okay, that's...
Before I start wading into it.
That's fair, yeah.
You know.
Alright, no problem. So, alright, here's the thing. I don't know...
Oh,
Okay.
you were in the zone this week.
I was in the zone this week because I figured out how to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
Basically.
I'm really interested in that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's see. How can I be a little bit diplomatic about this? Because I don't want to sound like I'm just emotionally opening myself up 100%. Because that's going to take too long.
Oh, it's magic.
Feels like it.
You know. Yeah.
So...
You read something?
Not just The Alchemist, but I also saw something.
No, but didn't you say you read something that said, "Hey, try this"? In other words, this activity that you participated in that put this outward projection.
Well,
you didn't just come to it of your own. You just kind of read over something.
It's a combination of things, actually.
Right.
So,
but there was something triggered it. You read something and it said, "Try this." Oh, no, the channel.
Yeah, the channel. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay.
All right, cool.
So, the reason why this is important is just slight overview.
Don't think about it. Just
I
talk.
know. I know. Shush. Shush. You and your mom could have been great lawyers.
Oh, don't start that.
I know.
Yeah, you're right.
She had if she was able to get to the school, and she would have been amazing.
agree with that.
So anyway, she's that type of woman. That's all right. So I'm going to use the words that I understand because it's just what we're saying nowadays. This new age, almost neo-pagan way of speaking.
Don't.
Which I don't know why.
Don't take exception to it. We're just trying to express it in the best way we know how.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I was raised in a more masculine-oriented way than most other women. Not 100%, but just more so than whatever. You know, bro.
Matriarch was basically got more input from her dad than her mom.
She was more of a tomboy at the time, you know.
Sure.
So I grew up.
That's not a speculation. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
No, we're not. It's not a diss. It's not me disrespecting. It's just what it was at the time. Yeah. So I didn't grow up with the whole like, you know, oh, this is how you braid your hair. This is how you use makeup. This is how you walk in heels. This is type what colors look good on you. That whole like feminine aspect of it, I really didn't get. Until way later.
Yeah. And I never had a negative perspective of the feminine.
But that's not you.
I tried to introduce it to you the best I could.
Yeah, like, it would not have,
because of what am I going to tell you?
It would not have made a difference. No.
But I did try.
No, I get it. It wasn't bad that you didn't try. It wasn't bad that you tried. It's just, look, the environment I was in, it really would not have mattered until recently. Last 2, 3, 5 years recently.
Yes.
It's not you. It's just how it unfolded, I guess.
And your balance now is fantastic.
Indeed, and I'm happy about it.
Yes, you are.
But that's the thing is, I didn't per se look down on it. I just never grew up knowing what the rules were. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So even when I took these, like, the classes at the modeling agency, I still felt awkward.
Yeah.
In it, like I was wearing a mask because I had no idea how to internalize it and embody it, for lack of better expressions.
That's a good observation.
So my whole life, I grew up in just this very awkward, not just awkward because of like puberty or anything, just in this awkward energetically. It's like, I am a woman.
Right.
I think I look good. But the way I act and project outside of myself, it would make people spook because they didn't quite know what they were looking at, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Sure.
You see?
Yeah.
Because, everyone's got that little sixth sense that tells them, oh, hey, I don't know about that, or, oh, hey, that looks good. Stuff like that.
Sure.
So whatever part of people that can read others would spook people when I was in the room.
Instinctual thing.
Yeah, this I would just set off, I realize that now, I would just set people's instincts off like, hey, what the fuck is that?
You didn't fit into their standard patterns.
Yes.
And they didn't know exactly how to deal with it.
Yes. Yeah. Even to this day, I still run into that. Yeah. Just in a different way, apparently, which is, I'm still grappling with that.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's just I'm still working through it and with it. So it took me until way, way later, do the beautification classes at the modeling agency, which I understand now are way, way more outdated than I had anticipated. Now that I've learned more on my journey.
Yeah.
Nothing good or bad. It was just like, really? Really? But anyway, just a lot of stuff. Like, I took the Kibble test for the 13 different bodies, 13 different bodies for women. That whole gaming, classic, dramatic, natural, and the subsections of that.
Yeah.
Took that test. This fancy schmancy, ladies' school didn't have that. Still working with the whole, like, hourglass, apple-shaped, pear-shaped system.
Right.
Which is not wrong. But here's the thing. Just because two women are pear-shaped doesn't mean you can stick the same dress on one and have it look good on both.
True.
Not necessarily.
True.
You see,
yes.
That's kind of the difference.
Yes.
So I'm doing all this research, and it's like, for the longest time, it's like, I don't feel different. I just have more information. It just feels plastic, and I don't understand why. And then I start doing more and more reading, not just researching into that, but also, like, looking up terms like divine feminine, goddess, energy, like there has to be something more than what I'm looking at. And I run into...
it's more than just this cartoon characterization.
Correct.
That is promoted, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I think what really gave me an insight to what I was looking for, but I didn't quite understand how to spell it out.
Yeah.
The movie Chocolat.
Yeah.
Vienne. Like I said last time, she doesn't fight the mayor with a sword or an army, or she doesn't spill blood.
No.
Her power is chocolate, and with it, she creates sculpture. She can refine into different shapes. She has that little circle thing where you look into it and you describe to her what you see in this spinning circle. She will just pull something off the shelf and be like, "Oh, this is your favorite." Plop it right down in front of you. And she does that.
Confectionery, yo.
Yeah, confectionery, yo. So her way is basically, it was the first example that I am aware of,
right,
of like positive femininity I had seen in my life.
Right.
That wasn't used as a joke.
Right.
It wasn't used in a villainous way, like,
right.
They say toxic masculinity. There's toxic femininity.
Yeah, there is.
And for the longest time, I thought it was that.
Yeah. No, it's
because
not.
I had never seen its opposite.
That's not power.
No, it isn't.
Toxic anything is not power.
Yeah, and for me, I had heard that this is not the true way of doing it, but I still didn't know what the actual way of doing it was. So the movie Chocolat helped me hone in on an image in my head, or at least an understanding in my head.
Right.
And then I look up, and then I find, I had known about her for years. I just never had the inclination to visit until very, very recently. YouTube channel by the name of the Universal Guru. That's what, not fixed everything, but that's what helped.
Like brought things into focus.
Brought things into focus. Like she helped give me some parameters that I wasn't aware were there. And I've only scratched the surface of what she's having to offer, because she offers classes, which I was a little skeptical at first when I started looking at her courses and classes and going, $800 for this? Because anytime I see that on YouTube, like, an influencer or a YouTuber supporting, like, a course or something,
yeah.
Advertising is different. Like, they're offering their own course on how to be successful, how to make money, yada, yada, yada. That sort of deal.
Yeah.
I get very skeptical.
Right.
Because it's one thing to promote, like, a source, or it's another thing to promote someone else's thing, advertising.
Right.
It's another thing to say, "Oh, I'm so smart and I'm so wise, I put together this course here that costs X number of dollars."
Right. You push somebody else's stuff, you're basically an affiliate marketer.
Correct.
So that might be your only motive.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people, when they offer their own courses, I get like, is this a scam? Or you just, is it just the same... same journal prompts as the other person with their own spiritual and embodiment courses and all that fun stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like this person's offering a course for $200. This person offering a course for $500, but it's the same words copy pasted over each other, just a different price tag. I've seen some of this woman's free videos. Like, this is her free stuff, and there's a whole backlog of it.
Yeah.
Nothing super specific, like actual techniques so far. But the fact that things have been put into a perspective and I'm learning what the rules are, that's made the big difference.
Operating dynamics.
Operating dynamic. That's what I'm seeking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
And it is very successful.
That's cool.
People physically move stuff out of my way.
It exists.
It exists.
It does.
And I figured out how to turn it on, apparently. I don't know what switch it is, but apparently I've figured it out, and I'm happy. Now my biggest fear is letting it all go to my head.
It won't.
Yeah, that's what the 3 pages journaling is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're aware of that being a possibility.
Yes.
And
a lot of folks are not.
Well, and a lot of people are not honest with themselves. It's like saying, it's like you're not a virtue signaling kind of person.
No.
Where they were like, you know what? If I won the lottery, I would help feed the world hunger. If that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing I would do if I had the big jackpot is get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer, a big old house and a car, and get it all paid off with some property.
Yeah.
And
whatever the government doesn't cut out of it, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of me and myself first.
Philanthropy. Yes.
Yeah, with what's left.
But for me to say that I would, first thing out of the gate would be to feed. I mean, there are people.
Yeah, there are people who are like that.
Altruistic people.
Yeah, but they know they're like that.
I think the most altruistic people don't know they are.
Really?
Yeah, my father was he had no clue. He had absolutely no clue.
Mm.
The power he possessed. The ability he possessed.
Well, here's also the other thing. He was probably more deeply connected to the whole soul of the world, as described, than most other people.
And he had no idea.
Yeah.
He had no idea. And it's definitely, and I'm going to tell you some people, there's a whole lot of folks out there, I love that, you see these memes on Facebook where, somebody's like handing $1 to a homeless people, but they got the camera up taking a picture of themselves doing it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
That ain't it.
That ain't it.
That's not charity.
That's not charity.
That's called a stunt.
Yeah. I mean, and God bless people that do it. And if you want to do it, I'm not telling you not to do it. But if you think you're going to reach some type of spiritual enlightenment
because
you're categorizing chronologically, you're helping. I mean,
yeah, the fact that you're doing it for a show,
you're doing it.
should betray the meaning.
Yeah, it just will. It'll corrupt it.
Yeah.
You may not realize that. You may be going into this and this is the way things are done. But I'm telling you, it's just like, we spoke earlier about your friend walking a particular path thinking it's going to end up somewhere else.
But it doesn't.
Because it always ends up the same. Once you step on that path, there may be variables, but the destination that you end up at is always the same. So if you are... and it's hard, especially in this day and age, to because there's such a big, there's this huge cultural interaction where people are recording them. I don't care what you have for breakfast, and some people do, and they're your fans and they're your followers.
That's to them.
You're the sycophants and lemmings and stuff like that. That's okay.
Whatever.
I mean, hey, if it pays your bills, but if you think continuously, publicly
doing stuff like that puts you in a better position over the average Joe. No,
you're going to end up in the same place. It will corrupt you. It will. No. It just will, because that's the way it does.
And appearances are always deceiving anyway.
There's this great biblical perspective where it says the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, or the left hand doesn't know. You have to, in other words, are you doing it because this is what you have to understand. Are you being charitable? Because if you weren't being, this is the secret.
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't being watched,
would you still do it?
Exactly. If you weren't being watched, if you weren't being measured, if you weren't being promoted, or if you weren't promoting something, would you still do it? Now,
that's fair.
If you would, and everybody thinks they would.
Sure.
Everybody says, oh, yes, of course I would.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, prove it.
Oh, yeah, people go to lengths to prove it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, and I try not, and that's why I'm such an asshole about, yeah, sure, because I'm a little jaded, and sorry, I apologize for that.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, would you still do it? That's the measure of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still be that charitable?
No, I get it.
If nobody, and I mean nobody,
was
only
watching.
You, if nobody was watching. They say dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Would you still be charitable when nobody's watching?
No, I get it.
When you don't gain any, it's just like, I talked about, there was a time, being so ego-driven, to fast and be praised over it.
Uh-huh.
Would you still do it if you couldn't share that commitment with other people?
Mm-hmm.
Could you still do it in secret?
Yeah. Speaking of fasting...
Yeah.
It's time for an update.
Oh.
Mini update.
Did he have a big fat chili cheeseburger yet?
No, he's still going.
Tim was in there one day. I'm just going to bust in there with a big bucket of chicken.
I'll tell you his schedule. You share some with me, I'll let you in through the door.
Just got grease rolling down.
Yeah. Yeah, just give me a box of some chicken strips.
No, I would. I would do that if he was a jerk.
He is a jerk.
Well, I'm a jerk too, but
Yeah, you are. Honestly and truly, the only person in this situation, this hypothetical situation you presented, being pissed off at this exchange of fried chicken would be my boss. That's the only person I give a shit about who I upset.
Love fried chicken. Anybody's got a problem with me talking about it can kiss my ass.
Good fried chicken is
I'd
good.
Eat it every single cotton picking day. I would.
But anyway.
Stay away from it.
So little mini update.
Yeah.
Okay. So little mini update. Nothing big happened. Okay. However, he was told not to work out this week.
By?
My boss.
Oh.
Because he came in and he did not look good. And I asked her, what do you mean he didn't look good? Because here's the thing. You hear the words, hasn't eaten for 20 plus days.
He's up, he's up to 20 days?
20 plus days. 31 days. Today, because it's the 31st.
31 days?
Yes. Wow. Yeah, and earlier this week he was told not to work out for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. When you hear 25 plus days of not eating, there's a list of things that you're going to go through that are more likely to happen. You know what actually prevented him from working out?
Cardiac arrest?
No. It's way dumber than that.
What?
Sun poisoning. Spent too long outside. Now, granted, sun poisoning is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
But out of the list of possibilities for him to get benched, it was fucking sun poisoning.
There is a sect of people that think not eating and they can get
just vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Oh no, I've seen people who
there is this.
I've seen people like
ascetic
that.
Kind of perspective.
Yeah, where they just they sit in the sun and do a lot of breath work, and that's how they sustain themselves.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I found a video.
People can find anything.
Yes. No, I know. No, I'm not approving of it. I'm just saying it exists.
It probably wouldn't hurt to take a week off.
Sure, of course. But I'd rather do that when we're not working for anyone else.
Sure.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's hard for us to go on a fast when we're also having to go places, do actual work, deal with people. Versus versus like, oh hey, I'm just gonna take like a tent and like a blanket out in the woods, and I'm just gonna drink water from the stream for 7 days.
People can, the
which I do plan on doing one day.
Of Jesus fasting, he was by himself in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's
it's not like he was working on a construction crew.
Exactly, that's the difference.
I'm not saying he should or shouldn't have been,
but that's the story we're told.
That's the approach.
Yeah. So I would rather do a intensive, actually spiritual fast when I'm not having to do anything else.
I don't recommend it.
No.
Not extended like that.
No, not extended like that. A day, maybe, but not like a week or more.
No.
3 days if you want to push it.
Yeah.
So.
But
that's a little mini update.
Out of the gym. I wouldn't keep working out.
I don't know how much further he's gonna get. Because he's benched, so maybe his body will. Well, I don't even know if rest would do him any good at this point.
Structurally, how different does he look?
Fuck if I know. I hadn't seen him in a while, but last time I saw him, he looked very gray.
I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of mental discipline.
Oh, it does. And
really
I'm starting to wonder, like I said, I'm wondering if this is less ego and more like wanting to suffer, or a combination of both.
It could be very psychological.
Oh, yeah. So that's all I know.
Sometimes I've seen people that won't eat. It's a death wish.
Yep.
And then various degrees of that.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
To fast that long.
Yes.
Sadness. I remember.
Depression's also causes.
I can remember multiple times growing up listening to the stories from the people in the culture that I grew up in.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where a person's spouse had died young.
Sure.
And they were seeking this level of direction and went on a 40-day fast after their spouse had died.
Yeah.
I ran into that a couple of times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But to just pull it out of the air.
Yeah, for just.
I'm just gonna not eat until I get.
Underneath.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me.
Yeah.
After my father died, I went into this deep. That's how I basically starved the weight off of me, because I was a overweight kid.
Sure.
And around 14 when my dad died, I literally between the age of 14 and a half to 15 and a half, I starved the weight off of me. But I was so angry and so
that's
twisted up based on my father's death. It empowered me to be, and the fact that I was 14, 15 years old.
Sure.
I still had that youthful discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I reversed it. I went from like 230 pounds down to about 187 pounds. And then in 1 week, every Sunday we would end up at my grandmother's, and she had a scale every Sunday after church. If we didn't go out to eat, which wasn't common, but we did it every now and then. But if we not, we would go eat dinner at my grandmother's, my mother's mother. And I weighed, and I had lost down to 100. I had lost 10 pounds in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized that's too much. And
it is too much.
And that's when I stopped and turn things around. That's when I started eating regularly. But I mean, because I would go days. I hadn't until just now, I really hadn't thought about this in a very long time.
Well, here's the thing. That was because you were kind of provoked by a sudden event.
But a sudden traumatic event kind of provoked me.
But what's happening at my gym is, it just seems to be like, he didn't listen in the first place, and now it's just... It's more for cosmetic reasons than spiritual, it seems. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know. That's the update. He got sun poisoning. Which, here's the thing. I was putting my money on some form of renal failure. Some kind of organ failure. That was going to be what my money was on.
That's not out of the ballpark.
Exactly.
It's still possible.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of
I don't know what his medical history is, obviously.
No, but that was kind of what I put my bet on. That was going to be on the list of things that's going to happen as a result of this, is hardcore organ failure.
It's possible.
Oh, yeah. Something's going to shut down and not want to come back on.
That is possible.
So...
Yes.
Again, not to be glib about this, but again, I explained the situation last episode. It's just, why?
Seems awful interesting to be able to just pull that out of thin air.
It is, ain't it?
There's something else going on.
Oh, I know there is something else going on. No. Don't think I don't know there's something else going on.
Yeah.
There is always something else going on.
Yeah.
No.
Things that right there is
the truth is simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes it has multiple parts.
The motivation behind people's actions is what I am interested in.
Yes.
It's what I challenge. It's what I seek.
Okay, for real. You gonna give me some chicken strips this week?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Motherfucker.
I'm just teasing. No. No. I am always curious, always intrigued by the motivations
of others.
Of others.
Yeah.
It's not point A. It's not exactly point A, and it's not exactly point B. It's how did you get from
It's how do you get from point A to point B?
What happened between point A and point B?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, and in hell, sometimes it's not always logical.
And it's not I'm a nosy bastard. No, I'm so curious about human behavior. I've always been curious about what motivates us to make the choices.
Oh man, I wish we had more time because I wanted to talk about my theory of the complacency of thought.
14 minutes.
Shit. All right, I can do this, but keep an eye on that because I don't want to just do this weird shit where we have to split it in half.
Okay.
All right, so because that was a headache and a half last time we had to do that.
10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
You got it.
All right, so I have a theory. I don't know what this is called in the psychological world. There has to be a word for it, but I don't know what it is. I call it the complacency of thought. Complacency as in, to be content in that sort of respect. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm gonna do this officially. Yes. Fuck's texting me. Not my problem. Not right now, at least. Peace. Complacency. I actually downloaded the dictionary because some of the books I've got on this phone are just Complacency definition: self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by awareness of actual dangers or deficiencies. That is exactly what I'm getting at. Complacency of thought. I don't know if this is just how people be. Or I don't know if this is artificial, it was made by the powers that be, or this is just something that naturally occurs in the human species.
Something that's a part of the human and not just
that's what
structure.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if this is something that has been created amongst us, or if this is a natural progression of us as mankind, humankind, whatever you want to.
So much we do is social contract.
Yes.
Basically. We're all going to drive in this North America. We're all going to drive on the right side of the road.
Yeah, because it's a pact based on trust between two entities.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is just ingrained in us as humans, or if this is artificially injected.
Okay.
I define the complacency of thought as I will use the American Evangelical Church as an example because right now it's very chic to hate on the Christians, and let's be fair, they've kind of done it to themselves in the past few decades. So it's not like I'm beating up that one kid you shouldn't beat up in the schoolyard. No, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. You have proof of that. You've seen it yourself. Been alive longer. But basically, the rough image of it is a lot of the people going to church now, with a couple of exceptions, of course.
Right.
They are like the average churchgoer, I would say, is engaged in some form of complacency of thought about how they conduct themselves and their religion as a whole. Because a big part of the American evangelical church is Jesus. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But they're focused on one aspect of the whole shebang. You know, there's New Testament, and there's the Old Testament.
Well, they've done that to themselves.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean by they shot themselves in the foot. They basically said, okay, what we have, Jesus, the Gospel, the main 4 books of the New Testament, basically, they basically said, this part here, we have this. Right. There is no more questions to be asked. There's no more wisdom to be gained outside of what we have in our hands, you know, mostly New Testament. But Jesus was raised on the Torah, and that's how it defined him. Therefore, how you guys define yourselves. Right. So why would you not ask questions what he learned to get to the point that you're preaching?
People, it's like, you know, hey, you can believe what you want to, but I'm telling you what he was taught.
Yes.
So why would you dismiss the foundation of what Jesus was taught?
Yeah. They basically don't look into the source of the point that Jesus was trying to make. You're cherry picking.
Yeah, you're cherry picking and you're not strengthening your position because you don't understand the foundation of what you are expressing.
That is what I define as complacency of thought. You just say, it's basically,
because I say so.
It means you're unteachable.
It does mean you're unteachable.
You know, you basically go, there's no more knowledge to be gained. I don't have to ask any more questions. This thing I'm holding in my hands is all that I need and will ever need. This is why you see, and it's not just the Christian church. It is literally anything.
Yes.
Anything.
As a parent.
Yeah.
I had the right to go, you will do this because I say so. But I didn't operate that way.
Yes.
I went, you will do this because here is the reason.
Yes.
And if I had to get tough, then I would go, well, I'm the boss and you'll do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that to be the foundation of your understanding, because that would mean the only thing you know, if the fist is all you'll understand,
then the fist is all you'll understand, and you won't be motivated by anything else.
You won't be motivated by anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it basically is just what I define as some kind of thought process where you don't seek out to broaden your horizons. This is why you see
it's very stifling.
It's why partisanship exists.
Why
they basically, they basically, it's why you see people who, if you just slightly poke holes in whatever they define as reality, because they've chosen to not grow anymore, because they're comfortable in whatever they're wrapped up in, be it secular, non-secular, scientific, doesn't matter. They don't want their circle popped, because that means they have to grow, they have to process some things that they maybe should not have done, or things that have been done to them that they don't want to relive. Fear of the pain that you would be in if you just, went to therapy, cried it out, or journaled it out, or whatever, just get it out.
Coming home every day and sitting in front of the TV and...
numbing yourself to whatever the fuck.
You don't grow. You get fat, you get lazy, mentally, physically, you get unhealthy. It's an unhealthy state of mind. It really is. And there's a whole bunch of it going on today. Yeah,
I call it the complacency of thought.
People have become very delusional.
They don't ask why.
Yeah, they don't ask why.
They don't ask any questions. They
fight to stay in that box.
Exactly.
And that box is a coffin.
It's also an ego thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an ego thing. Mm-hmm. It's an insecurity thing.
It is definitely an insecurity, but that's what I call the complacency of thought.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have to explore this.
I know. I'm only just developing it, but still.
Keep working on it.
I know.
Because.
Yeah, I know. Is it time?
No, we got 6 minutes.
Keep going?
No.
Okay.
Because you said you're working on it. You introduced it.
Yeah. I'm still working on it.
Still working on it.
But it's also why I say learn from everyone.
Learn from everyone.
It's why I'm reading, I don't just read the Bible. I'm also reading stuff about, Buddhist texts, Hindu texts, the Vedas.
Like I said, even if you...
Even
if you don't find anything, I'm not telling you to follow everything you read. I'm saying read and study, and at a minimum, you will find things that you say, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. That's something.
You don't have to find out what to do. If you figure out what not to do, that's good too.
That's good too. Exactly. So, There you go.
There you go.
That's my thing.
What a day.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm hungry.
It's our longest one.
Oh, no, the longest one we ever had was like over 2 hours. That one.
Did 3 different parts on,
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Yes. Okay, that one, the longest.
Yeah, we did.
We did 3 different. We sat down and did it in 3 different. Play by play.
Click by click.
Yeah, click by click. Which that's not unreasonable, but not in the format we've done it. But we don't have to do that no more.
We got time.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.